Religion in the science fiction genre. What does that mean? Are we talking about some strange, exotic, alien religion? As in the Star Trek universe, we have the Bajoran religion, whose faith is based on the prophets. Or what happens in the afterlife, as in Philip Jose Farmer's Riverworld. Meeting angels in C.S. Lewis's Out of a Silent Planet, or J.R.R. Tolkien's The Silmarillion, provides Middle-earth with a religion where the angels sing the world into creation. And in both the classic series and the more recent reimagined version of Battlestar Galactica, the general population of the 12 colonies of Kobal have the pantheon of gods, similar to the Greeks and Romans. In the reimagined version, some of the colonists worship with fervent devotion, and others have a general atheistic or agnostic view of the gods. And then there are the Cylons, who have a more monotheistic religion, more akin to Christianity. However, today we are looking at the Orange Catholic Bible from Frank Herbert's Dune. I'm Rob, and this is A Constantly Racing Mind. Now, for me, Frank Herbert's Dune is the book that caused me to spend a bunch of time in deep thought, considering not only the world of Arrakis, but also how my life has changed philosophically. Dune is a very complex book that deals with the ecology, sociology, environmentalism, morality, and politics, as well as religion. Not to worry, this video is about a prop of sorts. So if you're new here, we cover the film genres of sci-fi, horror, action-adventure, prop culture, and all things geek. So if you want more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to be aware of all my new content. Now, Dune is set in the distant future amidst a feudal interstellar society in which various noble houses control planetary fiefs. It tells the story of a young Paul Atriedes, whose family accepts the stewardship of the desert planet Arrakis, also known as Dune. Before the year 10191, which is the year of our story, a great upheaval in the known universe called the Battlestar Jihad, 2 generations of chaos against the god of machine logic. Men looked at their gods and their rituals and saw that both were filled with the most terrible of all equations, fear over ambition. We are introduced to the Orange Catholic Bible in Dune during the first book within Dune, when the Atriedes are preparing to leave the planet Caladan. Dr. Yui, 1,000 deaths for Yui, presents the young Paul Atriedes with a small object, oblong, black, and no larger than Paul's thumb. Yui tells Paul that it is a book designed for space travel. It's not a film book, but actually printed on filament paper. Now, the filament tissue is so fragile, you can't really actually touch the pages. Now, the book has its own magnifier and electrostatic charge system. This is held closed by the charge, which forces against the spring-locked covers. Now, by pressing the edges, the pages one selects repel each other, and the book opens. The book is small, yet it contains 1,800 pages. Now, why does Yui give Paul this religious text? The book belonged to his wife, Juana Marcus, a Bene Gesserit, who was taken captive by the Harkonnens, yet Yui is not sure of her fate. Yui needs to be sure. Unfortunately for Yui, Paul presses the edge, but Yui finds that Paul's fingers are less calloused and more sensitive than his, and found his wife's marker for her favorite scripture, which was, "Think you of the fact that a deaf person cannot hear? Then what deafness do we all possess? What senses do we lack that we cannot see and cannot hear another world?" At this, Yui yells, "Stop it!" shocking the young man. Paul attempts to give the book back to the doctor, but Yui insists that Paul keep it, as it has much historical truth in it, as well as good ethical philosophy. Now, to Paul, the book was something strange and mysterious. Now, after the great upheaval, which is known as the Battlestar Jihad, the leaders of the religion, whose followers had spilled the blood of billions, began meeting to exchange views. After the leaders' first ecumenical meetings came 2 significant developments. They came to realize that all religions had at least one common commandment: "Thou shalt not disfigure the soul." Another development was the Commission of Ecumenical Translators, also known as the CET. The members of this new group convened on a neutral island on Old Earth. the spawning ground of the mother religions. They believed, either rightly or wrongly, that they all held the common belief that there is a divine essence in the universe. The mission statement, which is one of the few things that they actually agreed upon quite easily, was that they were there to remove a primary weapon from the hands of disputant religions. That weapon, the claim to possession of the one and only revelation. For 7 years, the commission labored. Rumors of how badly the group handled the textual comparisons and what to leave in and what to leave out. This provoked anti-ecumenical riots, which cost 80 million lives and derision of the CET. Now, over the years, 9 of their original members have died and have been replaced, taking time to mourn their loss and find replacements. As they labored, they pronounced that they were working to weed out all human religions past pathological symptoms. Now, over time, 20 delegates were recalled by their congregations, and one committed suicide by stealing a space frigate and driving it directly into the sun. As their 7th anniversary approached, they prepared the human universe for a momentous announcement. The Orange Catholic Bible, or OCB for short, also known as the Koranjiyana Zenchristian scriptures, the accumulated book, or the Zenchristian Navakoran, was one of the most important religious texts in the known universe. Men, finding no answers to the Yunnan, otherwise known as the 10,000 religious questions from the Sharia, now apply their own reasoning. All men must seek to be enlightened. Religion is but the most ancient and honorable way men have striven to make sense of God's universe. Scientists seek the lawfulness of events. It is the task of religion to fit man into this lawfulness. Now, of course, you can't please everyone, which was the case with the Orange Catholic Bible. Many in the known universe declare that the book resulted from the hubris of reason. One of the 14 sages admitted that we shouldn't have tried to create new symbols. Nonetheless, the OCB permeated the religious universe. Later, an older Paul and leader of the indigenous peoples known as the Fremen once commented that religion often partakes of the myth of progress that shields us from the terrors of an uncertain future, which is identical to 61 revelations from the Orange Catholic Bible. There are many cases where Paul, muad'Dib, references concepts from the OCB. Over time, from now to 185,000 years in the future, religions change. The most significant reason for this is space travel, or as Frank Herbert says, space travel. Today, we don't have a device with filament paper moved by an electrostatic charge that is so small that it's thumb size with over 1,800 pages. I wasn't expecting that when I purchased this off of Amazon. Is it possible to include the scriptures of every conceivable earth religion blended into one solid book? What about the religious concepts not even developed yet? For example, we have Zen Buddhism and Sunni Islam, but we do not have the Zen Sunni tradition, nor do we have Navakrishtianity either. Could today's man create a book that seamlessly redacts the books of the great religions, both old and the ones that have not been developed yet? That would be something of a great historical value and good moral philosophy. Many diverse religions today have commentaries that serve as companions to their primary religious text. For example, the Bible of the Jews, which the Christians call the Old Testament, have the Midrashes, and Islam has the Hadith, a collection of traditions containing sayings of the Prophet, a part of the Quran. So too, the Orange Catholic Bible came with a liturgical manual and the commentaries. Here, in the book that I'm about to show you, the commentaries are interspersed throughout the text. Now, once again, as I said, I picked this off of Amazon. It's an 8.5 by 11 inches, which are 21.59 centimeters by about 28 centimeters, and it is just over 1.25 inches thick, which is a bit under 3.5 centimeters. There's a lot in this book to consider. The Orange Catholic Bible starts up with the Upanishads of Hinduism. Then we take a look at the gods of the Britons, which are the Celtic Britons. Quite a bit about the religious deities from the cradle of humanity, with Babylonian, Sumerian, and Akkadian gods. The OCB turns to the biblical text, and once again I will note that the commentaries are interspersed throughout the book. The CET does a lot of comparative textualization in various texts, including mentions of the Scandinavian pagan gods of old Earth. Now, non-resistance, kingdom of God, is within you, where we get a more of the teachings of pacifism, quite notably from the Quaker point of view. Theological, political, and the light of reason seems to be a wide-ranging discourse on superstition, miracles, and forms of higher thought. And in the section on Osiris is the study of Egyptian deities and their view of the world and the afterlife. Aquarian Gospel is an in-depth look at the life of Christ spanning all the years of his life. And finally, we look at the doctrines of Islam. There are many concepts that relate directly back to the known universe of Dune, where mysticism, religion, theology, and politics that the OCB contains within. As the Missionaria Protectiva reinforces Freeman religious conventions, so too does Pardo-Kine's ecological views have a profound effect on the Fremen. Because of this, it was very easy for the Fremen to accept Paul as their Lisan al-Gaib, the voice from the outer world. But he was much more. In fact, he was the Quasad Haderach. Now, according to the Religion of Dune, in the appendix of that book, it explicitly outlines Paul's philosophical and religious debt to the Orange Catholic Bible. This is a big book. Now, when I took philosophy and comparative religions classes in college, I was assigned this book. Now, this book has selected texts from several major religions, so I'm familiar with the concept of trying to work out a well-rounded set of ideals that would bring one a higher level sense of purpose and bring a deeper meaning of life. Now, this is not a book for every Dune prop collector. For me, it was of great interest. Now, why is this book called the Orange Catholic Bible? Some say the orange appears to be an etymological corruption of the part of the official designation, Koranjiyana, using only the first two syllables and dropping the first consonant. Alternatively, others believe that orange could also refer to the Orange Institution, a Protestant Christian movement that was often at odds with the Roman Catholic Church, making Orange Catholic an oxymoron. Now, Catholic, in this sense, is more akin to the original meaning of universal. Now, thank you for watching. I know this episode was a bit different from a typical prop video. Let me know what you think about videos like this. If you liked the video, hit the thumbs up or slam the thumbs down. If you didn't like it, more prop videos to come. So don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified when all my videos come out. And watch this video right here for more cosplay and film prop fun. Take care.